Guys, please check your audio and video settings, please, everyone. Yes, boss. Okay, guys. Important resources of servlet API. Important resources of servlet API. Okay. We have a lot of packages, boss. But in that one, some important packages are there, important resources are there. Okay. First one is Jakarta dot servlet interface. Yes. Jakarta dot servlet interface. Next. Jakarta dot servlet dot generic servlet class. Super. Next. We have one more class called Jakarta dot servlet dot HTTP dot HTTP servlet class. HTTP servlet. What is the relation between these two things, guys? AC means abstract class. Class implements an interface, right? Here is my input. What's the relation between these two things, guys? Relationship is what? Extends. The relationship is extends. Now listen, guys. In this interface, total 5 methods are there. How many methods are there, guys? 5 method declaration. 5 methods declaration is place. Okay. What are those methods? Public void init servlet config cz throws. Yeah. The interface means all methods will be declarations only abstract method. Servlet exception. Next. Public void service. Servlet request REQ. Servlet response RES. Servlet response RES. Throws. Servlet exception, comma, IO exception. This is the another method. Okay. Yeah, don't worry about the signature, just remember the method names. Init is one method, service is another method. Okay, next. Public void destroy This is one method. Public void public string get servlet info. Get servlet info is another method. Public get servlet info, but get servlet info is another method. Okay, guys. Right, boss. Next, we have one more method called public. 1 minute. If you forgot a series, Sarah, don't remember these methods, Raghav. You can collect from documentation. If you want to get methods of any interface or class, just type that method. Understanding my statement? Okay. Jakarta dot. What is that? Jakarta dot servlet dot servlet docs. One method is not implemented. That one method is taken as abstract method or not. That one method is taken as abstract method or not. Come on. Everyone, please collect the backup videos, my dear. Super. Next. Public void INIT. Public void INIT. Public void INIT. And a lot of other methods. Yeah. Contains multiple direct methods in generic servlet class. Array abstract class implementing servlet interface. Out of 5 methods, providing definition for 4 methods. The remaining method is given as abstract method. So class is taken as abstract class. But abstract class can have concrete methods also, na boss. Abstract class can have concrete methods also. What do you say, guys? Abstract class can have concrete methods also. What do you say, boss? Public void INIT dot. These are direct methods of generic servlet class. Okay. These are direct methods of generic servlet class. Come on. Super, boss. Now tell me here, what is the story, boss? Direct methods of generic servlet class. Yes, boss. Now tell me here. STDB servlet, boss. STDB servlet. Inherit, implement service method. Array, definitely implement service method, na boss. Implement service method. Provide service. Servlet request, comma. Yeah, servlet response. Don't try to mug up, just to try to put some efforts. In practice, you will remember them. In practice, you will remember them. We are going to deal with these methods every day, right, boss? Okay. Throws shortcut. Servlet exception, comma, IO exception. Okay. Yeah. Next, it is also having overloaded service method. Protected void service. Taking HTTP servlet request. HTTP servlet request can work with protocol HTTP features more and more. HTTP servlet response RES. Okay. Throws servlet exception, comma, IO exception. Nice, boss. Tell me next one. Protected void. protected wide, do triple X. Total 7 do triple X methods are there, boss. Total 7 duplex, 7 do triplex methods are there. So they also take what? HTTP servlet request REQ, HTTP servlet response RES. Throws servlet exception comma IOX. Simply throws what? Servlet exception comma IO exception. Are you comfortable, guys? Okay, 7 do triplex methods are there. What are those 7 do triplex methods? In shortcut, we call them as do triplex, but total 7 methods are there, guys. What they are? Get, do post, do get, do post. Like these 7 methods are there total. Do put, options, do trace. Okay, do get, do post, do put, do option, do trace. Next one, do head. Okay, do head, do delete. What is the count, guys? 7 do triplex methods. In shortcut, we call them as 7 do triplex methods. 7 do triplex methods. Got it, my dear? Okay, now listen carefully. Yeah, inherited and implemented. Inherited from generic servlet class. Generic servlet class and implemented here. Implemented here. That's the one thing. Okay. Yeah, these methods are there now. Okay. Direct concrete methods of HTTP servlet class. HTTP servlet class. Understanding my statement, guys? These are direct methods. Okay, this is inherited from generic servlet and implemented here. Implemented here means implemented in HTTP servlet class. Understanding my statement? Servlet interface is there having 5 methods declaration. Cool. Generic servlet class is there implementing servlet interface. Come on. Okay. Everyone, please hold your emotions. Everything will explained. Please focus. Right, boss. Now tell me. Generic servlet is implementing servlet interface. Okay, inheriting 5 methods. Out of 5 methods, providing definition for 4 methods and keeping 1 method as abstract method. Keeping 1 method as abstract method. Also having its own direct methods. HTTP servlet is extending from what? Generic servlet, guys. Generic servlet, guys. Okay. Okay. When it is extending from generic servlet, okay, what is the abstract method it is having? Service method. Inheriting and implementing that service method. And also having what? Its own direct methods. Its own direct method. What is that? Protected service method and 7 do triplex method. Are you understanding my statement, guys? Protected service method and what? 7 do triplex method. Are you listening my statement, guys? So these are the 3 important resources, boss. These are the 3 important resources. Now listen, one speciality is there if you observe very carefully. Note, HTTP servlet class is abstract class containing no abstract methods. HTTP servlet class is an abstract class containing no abstract methods. That means all the methods of that class, all the methods in that class are concrete methods. In that class are concrete methods. Are you understanding my statement, guys? HTTP servlet is an abstract class containing no abstract methods. That means all the methods in that class are concrete methods, Ra Babu. Okay. Are, is it allowed in Java? Yes. In Java, abstract class can be taken having only concrete methods or only abstract methods or mix of both or mix of both. Anything is what? Abstract class can be taken having only concrete methods or only abstract method or mix of both. Or mix of both. I hope you convinced, my dear. Yes, boss. Okay. Now listen carefully. AC, abstract class. I for interface. C for normal concrete class. Normal class for which object is created. Are you understanding my statement, guys? Okay. Normal class for which object is created. Okay, guys. Abstract method. Just method declaration. Just method declaration. Okay. Next, concrete method. All these are core Java terminologies. Right? Method with definition. Method with definition. Understanding my statement? Okay. Null method. Null method definition. Null method. Null method. Method with empty definition. Understanding my statement, guys? Okay. Oh, still core Java not completed. Without oops, don't come for advanced Java. It's my request. If you don't know what is class, what is object, what is interface, what is abstract class, please stop coming for this batch. Wait for the next batch. Method with empty definition. Empty definition. Okay. Nothing but empty body. Empty body. Right, boss? Empty body. Tell me public wide M1. This is method declaration. Yes, boss. M2, some logic. Some logic, serious logic is there. This is called concrete method definition. M2 is called concrete method, boss. Concrete method. Right. Okay. Now tell me next one. Body is called definition. Public void M3. M3. Just empty floor brackets. No logic in the body. No logic in the body. Understanding my statement? This is declaration. This is concrete method definition. Okay. This is what, guys? Okay. Dummy implementation, no definition. This is called null method. Null method definition. Okay. This is concrete method definition. Understanding my statement? Method declaration is nothing but abstract method. Indirectly, this is going to be what? Abstract method. Clear, guys? Okay. Abstract method. So these are the three predefined resources. One interface, two abstract classes. And these are the ready-made methods. Some of them are there in declaration. Some of them are there in what? Come on. When you declare this kind of thing in interface, automatically abstract will come or not. There is no need of keeping abstract every time, right? Inside interface, the abstract keyword will come automatically. What do you say, boss? Okay, if you are that much worried, I will keep that abstract word also. If you are that much worried, I will keep abstract also. Public abstract, wide M1. Okay. So this is abstract method, guys. Concrete method definition, null method definition. Here logics are there. Logics are there. Here empty floor brackets are there. That's why null method definition. Are you understanding my statement, guys? Super. Okay. These are the important resources in servlet API. Important interface and classes in servlet API. You should have knowledge on this. Can I ask a few questions? Generic servlet implements what interface? Generic servlet implements what interface? Servlet interface. HTTP servlet extends from which class? HTTP servlet extends from which class? Generic servlet class, right? How many methods are there in generic servlet? How many methods are there in generic servlet? Lots of methods are there. Okay. Lots of methods are there. Don't say 4 method, 5 method. How many methods are there in servlet interface? 5. How many methods are there in servlet interface? 5 methods are there. Generic servlet is implementing how many methods of servlet interface? 4 are implemented. What is the method that is not implemented? What is the method that is not implemented? Come on. Service method. How service method is given in generic servlet class? How service method is given in generic servlet class? Abstract method. How service method? How many service methods are there in HTTP servlet? 2. 2. Okay, guys. Okay. 2 overloaded methods are there. Okay. All the methods in HTTP servlet are abstract methods or concrete methods? Abstract methods are concrete methods. They are well-defined concrete methods. They are well-defined concrete methods. What do you say, guys? They are very much well-defined concrete methods. Got it? They are very much defined concrete methods. I hope you are understanding my statement, guys. Every servlet component is a Java class. Java class implementing Jakarta dot servlet interface directly or indirectly. Directly or indirectly. Okay. Now tell me, guys, how JVM recognizes this class is a thread. This class is a thread. This class is not a thread. By seeing runnable interface implementation directly or indirectly or not. Are you understanding my point? Does JVM takes every class as thread? No. JVM recognizes only those classes as threads. Only those objects as threads. Whose classes are implementing what, guys? Whose classes are implementing what, guys? Runnable interface directly or indirectly, right? Whose classes are implementing runnable interface directly or indirectly. Every servlet component is a Java class implementing Jakarta.servlet interface directly or indirectly. Directly or indirectly. Servlet container recognizes only those classes as servlet components. Only those classes are servlet component which are implementing Jakarta dot servlet interface directly or indirectly. Directly or indirectly. Understanding my statement? Okay. JVM recognizes only those objects as threads whose classes implement java.lang.runnable interface directly or indirectly. Whose classes implement java.lang.runnable interface directly or indirectly. Understanding my statement, guys? Okay. Servlet container manages the life cycle of servlet components classes only when those classes are implementing Jakarta dot servlet interface directly or indirectly. Understanding my statement? Directly or indirectly. Are you understanding my statement, guys? Servlet container creates only one object for servlet component class and uses that object for all requests. Uses that object for all requests. All requests to process the request by calling service method on servlet component class object by calling service method on servlet component class object uh, for every request having request comma response objects as the arguments. Having request comma response objects as the arguments. Understanding my statement, guys? Okay, guys. Now listen carefully. This is servlet component class object. Servlet component class object. Super. It contains what method? Service method. Public void service. Servlet request. Everything please focus. Servlet request REQ. Servlet response RES. RES. Throws servlet exception comma IO exception. Okay, here what logic we place, guys? Request processing logic. Okay, what is that? Request processing logic. Now tell me, guys, I have given how many requests to this servlet component? I have given how many requests to this servlet component? 3 requests. 3 requests. For 3 requests, how many threads will be started, my dear? For 3 requests, how many threads will be started? 3 threads will be started, right? Here is my thread 1. Here is my thread 2. Here is my thread 3. Total 3 threads, boss. Yes, boss. Here is my process. Here is my process. Tell me here, what is this? Request to 1. Request to 2. Here is my request 3. Total how many requests are given? 3 requests are given. T1, T2, T3. T1, T2, T3. All these threads will act on what? Same object, right? Tell me this service method executes how many times, guys? 3 times this service method executes. Why? For every request, service method will be executed once, right, boss? 1. Next. 2. For every request, the service method will be executed once. 3. Total how many? 3 times service method will be executed, right, boss? For 3 requests given to servlet component. Given to servlet component. The servlet container automatically calls service method for 3 times. Automatically call service method for 3 times. Okay, guys. Are we going to call service method? No. Who is going to call service method? Servlet container. How many times? How many requests have come? Those many times. How many requests have come? Those many times. If 10 requests are given, service method executes how many times? 10 times. If 20 requests are given, service method executes how many times? 20 times. All the 20 times, it will execute service method on same object of servlet component class or different object. On same object or different object. Same object, right? Dirty fellow. On same object of servlet class or different object. Same object. Because yesterday I said single instance, multiple threads component, right? Single instance, multiple threads component. Okay. On the single object of on the single object created for the servlet component class. On the single object created for the servlet component class. Are you understanding my statement, guys? Okay, how many requests are given? 3. How many objects are created for servlet component class? 1. How many threads are created? 3. Okay, how many times service method executes? How many times service method executes? 3 times. All these operations are done by manually or all these things will happen? All these operations are done manually. All these things are taken care by servlet container. All these operations are done automatically or all these operations should be taken care by servlet container. Automatically taken care by servlet container. Right now, boss? Only development of servlet component is our responsibility. Loading that class, creating that object, calling, managing that object, calling service method for every request. Okay, if you needed, destroying that object, creating thread for every request. Everything will be taken care by whom, guys? Servlet container only. Servlet container only. Development of servlet component having service method with request processing logic is the work of developer. Is the work of developer. Okay, developer. Developer. Yeah, Shariar Khan. Okay, Shariar Khan. You give 100 requests, 100 times service method will be called. Answer by servlet container. Right, boss? Who loads servlet component class? Servlet container. Who create object? Servlet container. Who manages object? Servlet container. Who creates thread for every request? Servlet container. Who calls service method for every request? Servlet container. If needed, who destroys the object? Servlet container. Okay, all these are nothing but servlet lifecycle management or not? All these are part of servlet lifecycle management activities or not? Okay. Using the request object of service method, we can gather all the inputs that are coming along with the request. We can gather all the inputs that are coming along with the request. We can gather all the inputs that are coming along with the request. Are you understanding my statement, guys? like reading form data. Array form data. Username, password we give along with the request or not? Yes. Reading form data. Okay. And etc. Using the response object of service method. Service method. We can place the generated output. The generated output of servlet component. Okay. We can place the generated output of servlet component. Servlet component. Generated output of servlet component in response object to send it to browser. To send it to browser. To send it to browser. To send it to browser along with the response. Along with the response. Come on, guys, convinced or not? We can place the generated output of servlet component in response object to send it to browser along with the response. To send it to browser along with the response. Okay, guys. Are you comfortable, my dear? Using request object of service method, we can gather all the inputs that are coming along with the request, like reading form data. Using response object of service method, we can place the generated output of servlet component in response object to send it to browser along with the response. To send it to browser along with the response. I think everything is having its own importance or not. I'm talking about this request object, my dear. I'm talking about this response object. Convinced or not? I'm talking about this request object, this response object. Got it? Okay. On this discussion, can I put some questions? Okay. Who manages servlet component lifecycle? Servlet container, right? Servlet container. Okay, guys. What is the role of developer? Managing servlet component or just developing servlet component? Just developing servlet component. Okay. If I give 100 requests to servlet component, how many objects will be created for that servlet component? Only one. Array, only one. Who is that 100 objects will be created? Muddy fellow. Ram Dange. Focus, my dear. Focus, my dear. Only one object will be created. On that one object, how many threads will be started? 100. How many times service method is called? 100 times. How many responses will be generated? 100 responses will be generated, right? Okay. Along with the request, lot of inputs may come. How to read those inputs in the service method? How to read those inputs in service method? How to read those inputs in service method? Using which object we can read those inputs in service method? Using request object, right? Are a request to request, since inputs are changing, output may change. Outputs may change. Okay, to send that output to browser as response, which object support we should take? Which object support we should take? Response object support we should take, right? Tell me. calling service method having request comma response objects is my work or servlet container work? Is my responsibility or servlet container responsibility? Servlet container. Am I going to call service method manually or servlet container calls automatically for every request? Servlet container calls service method automatically for every request. I'm happy lots of people responding. I'm still seeing some people not responding in the chat box. See guys, if you respond, you will be active. If you are active, you will get interest to study subject. If you study subject with interest, you will get confidence to go to interview. If you go to interview, you will clear interview. If you clear interview, you will get a job. All are interlinked. No, sir, I will lay on the bed. One hand I will play with mobile. Another hand I will listen the class. Okay. Results will be same. Results will be same, boss. Results will be same. You never get confidence to face interview. If you don't get confidence, you never go to interview. You will be jobless. And I know that. Everyone says that time you'll start creating a new statement. What statement? Software jobs are very tough to get. And first of all, you make yourself tough in the software, then job will come automatically. Understanding my statement? Job will come automatically. Right. And when I'm talking some X topic, some people, right, boss? Right. Ganeswar, I'm talking about servlet, and you all of a sudden you talked about how to improve logical programming. What do you expect, Ganeswar? I should stop teaching servlet and I should spend time for you? Don't you have common sense of attending classes? Completed engineering, completed 22 years, don't know how to use chat box? Don't know how to use chat box? Will you do? Now, shall I give different ways of developing servlet component, guys? Different approaches of developing servlet component class. Different approaches of developing servlet component class. Right, boss. Approach one. Approach one. Take a servlet component class implementing Jakarta dot servlet interface. Jakarta dot servlet interface and provide implementation for all the five methods of servlet interface, including service method having request processing logic and response generation logic. Having request processing logic and response generation logic. Have a look, my dear. Test servlet Java or any other name also you can give. Public class test servlet implements Jakarta dot servlet interface. Servlet interface. Public wide service servlet request REQ, servlet response RES, servlet request REQ, servlet response RES throws servlet exception, comma, IO exception. Throws servlet exception, comma, IO exception. Throws servlet exception, comma, IO exception. Yes, guys. What is this? Request processing logic and response generation logic. Request processing logic or response generation logic. Okay, but listen, other four methods implementation. Okay, other four methods must be implemented. Why? We are implementing interface having five methods, right? Other four methods implementation. Other four methods implementation. Yes, boss. This is approach number one. Tell me what is the disadvantages of this approach, guys? Disadvantages. Okay, cons. Cons means what? Disadvantages. What are the disadvantages of this approach? Yeah, tell me, boss. Tell me. We generally wants to implement service method, right? Okay, remaining methods out of 100 times, 99.99 times, we don't want to implement. But for the sake of one method, we are forced to implement remaining four methods or not. For the sake of one method, we are forced to implement remaining four methods or not. By hook or crook, you should implement them or not. At least null method definitions you should place for remaining methods, na boss. That's very, very bad or not, boss. It's something like this, guys. Your friend is inviting you for party that is happening in his home. You said, sorry, boss, I cannot come. My relatives have come to my party. My relatives have come to my home. By leaving them alone, I cannot come. So indirectly, what your friend is saying, boss, you invite my relatives also, then only I will join for your party. You invite you invite my relatives, then only I will join for your party. Understanding my statement, guys? Okay. You invite my relatives, then only I will join for party. Is that clear, guys? For the sake of one friend, okay, you are forced to call relatives of the friend also, na? Understanding my statement? No doubt, we would like to have service method every time because that is a method where we place request processing logic. For the sake of one method, we are forced to implement other four methods or not. I will give one better example. Boy-girl example. Okay, everyone connected to the example. It might have happened to every person in not experienced. Right. I experienced it. Okay. Most of the people might have experienced this. Look at the situation of the boy, guys. For the sake of one girl, he is forced to spend it. He is forced to invite uh, her roommates. Her roommates, who is another 4 or 5 members. Okay. Having request processing loss. Okay. In this approach, we are forced to place we are forced to place definition for all the 5 methods, though we are interested in, in only one service, Got it, guys? Though we are interested in only one service. Are you understanding my statement, guys? That's a problem number. Problem number 2. It is, we cannot use protocol HTTP features, Rabo. When you are watching cricket score in the web browser, are you going to refresh manually or it will be refreshed automatically for every 30 seconds? Are you going to refresh manually or it will be refreshed automatically for every 30 seconds? Okay, guys. What is service? Service is a method, Rababu. Who is this stupid guy, guys? After listening entire Ramayana, he is asking what is service, sir? Mr. Rafiq Sayed. Rafiq Sayed, can you jump into the drainage that is there in front of your home after the class? Matti fellow. After listening entire Quran, he is asking who is Allah. Matti fellow. From last 30 minutes, I was talking about service method only. Na Matti fellow. I think everyone look at the question. Rafiq, you have to improve your focus, my dear. I think you just wake up and started listening class, it seems. Please don't do that. In online classes, self-discipline is very, very important. Okay. Self-discipline is very, very important, please. Service method is like main method of standalone application, which will be called automatically by servlet container. So we generally place request processing logic and response generation logics in the service method. Got it? Okay. This offline class, I would have made Rafiq Sayed to go to back row and to listen entire class in standing mode. Fine. Because he is not focusing class let. Fine, boss. We cannot use protocol HTTP features. Rafiq Sayed, I don't need your sorry, Ra Babu. Sorry gives jobs, sir. Sorry gives monthly salaries. Sorry changes your financial status. No, na. Please. Don't run the story by sorry. Sorry, sympathies never gives anything in life. Your hard work, your zeal of becoming something in life gives something to you. Please, in my classroom, sorries and sympathies are not going to work out. We cannot use protocol HTTP features. Protocol HTTP features are like enabling auto refresh on the browser content. Which is very useful towards displaying live game scores. Which is very useful towards displaying live game scores, stock market share values, and etc. Stock market share values and exit. Stock market share values and exit. Got it, my dear? Understanding my statement? Here is my live games course. Done. Stock market share values and exit. We cannot use protocol HTTP features, Rabhav. In this approach, somehow we cannot enjoy protocol HTTP features. Okay, for that one, our class must extend from HTTP servlet. While dealing with HTTP servlet only, we can enjoy protocol HTTP features. Somehow we cannot enjoy, right, guys? Next. It is not industry standard approach. It is not industry standard approach to develop the applications. It is not industry standard approach to develop the application. To develop the servlet component. That's better. Industry does not prefer this approach, Ramo. It is not industry standard approach to develop the servlet component. Okay, guys. Got it, guys? All are disadvantages only. There are no advantages at all in this approach. So that means all are bad only in this approach. Super. We understood three important resources of servlet API. They are servlet interface, generic servlet class, HTTP servlet class. Okay. Then we understood what is abstract class, what is concrete class, what is interface. Then we understood what is concrete method definition, what is abstract method declaration, what is null method, right, boss? And later we understood very, very important. Development of servlet is our responsibility. Loading that servlet class, creating object for that class. Creating object for that class. Understanding my statement? Creating object for that class. Managing that object. Calling service method on that object. Destroying object if needed. Thread creation. Everything is taken care by servlet container. Understanding my statement? Service method is called by servlet container having two objects. One request object, one response object. Request object is useful to gather inputs from that are coming along with the request. Response object is useful. Response object is useful to deliver output to the browser. To deliver output to the browser by putting into the response object. So we have multiple approaches to develop our servlet component. First approach is implementing servlet interface. Anyhow, we will try to place service method definition. But for the sake of that method, we are forced to implement other four methods of the servlet interface, right? Okay. So for the sake of one method, we are forced to implement remaining four methods. That's the problem number one. We cannot enjoy protocol HTTP feature. That is problem number two. And this approach is not an industry standard approach to develop the application. Right. We will see other two approaches and we'll finalize what is the best approach in tomorrow's session.